Okay, hello everyone. This is Foul Play here, and I am back here today. So I'm going through. It's been about a week, maybe getting on towards 2 weeks since Zendikar Rising has come out. I'm going to go over some of the cards that have been making an impact and appearing in the modern metagame. So, Merfolk got a little bit of a quality of life improvement as far as the mono blue deck was concerned. So, they now have access to a creature and land named Glasspool Mimic. So, for 3 mana, it can enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature that you control, except it has Shapeshifter Rogue in addition to its other type. Its land side is sort of medium. It taps for blue mana. It enters the battlefield tapped. It's not an island, so I guess that's sort of good against Choke, but bad against Blood Moon. Now, that's sort of played a little bit in the mono blue. I think people have been trying like 1 or 2 in Simic. I'm not quite sure on the results of that, but it's a pretty cool card. Downside, okay, so something about these dual-sided cards. They are always considered the spell side unless they are played as the land side. So if they appear in your library, they appear in your hand, they're always going to appear as the spell side. That's important for things like Inquisition, but there's also a lands deck that has come up, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more later. So Glasspool Mimic has actually appeared in some regard in that, and then there's a different version of Merfolk that also runs Umara Wizard and Umara Skyfall. So Umara Skyfalls enters the battlefield tapped, same as Glasspool Mimic. It adds a blue, nothing special there. So the creature here on the creature side is 1 blue and 4, and it gives you a 4/3 Merfolk. And when you cast an instant sorcery or wizard spell, it gains flying until end of turn. So pretty average creature side as well. So the point where these two cards have actually come together in a bit of a combo deck for Merfolk is with Ghostly Fligger. So Ghostly Fligger is exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, or lands you control, then return them to the battlefield under your control at instant speed for 3 mana. So essentially they play these tapped lands, they get to flicker them, copy Lords, copy 4/3s. It only exiles 2. I reckon if it exiled 3, it'd be pretty busted. So people have played around like that, and it looks like kind of quirky, more of like a troll deck, fun deck sort of thing, than anything too serious. But something to, I guess, have on your radar a little bit there. Now, Mill has made a massive, massive resurgence as well. And it's all thanks to the printing of Runecraft. And their deck is actually really scary. I have lost to it. And I'm just going to throw it out there. It is strong. It is a lot stronger than it used to be. So Runecraft is landfall. When it enters a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. So similar to the Hedron Crab ability, which was when a land enters the battlefield under your control, target player mills 3 cards. So Runecraft gets past Leyline, which is pretty nice for them. It also has 3 toughness instead of 2. Which is a bit of a quality of life improvement, but like not super amazing in my opinion. Does get around, I guess, some of the red prowess decks, which are running Lava Dart and like Firebolt and things like that only deal a net of 2 damage. Now, where is the card? Okay, so it looks like this person has decided to run the new instant, which is each opponent mills 8 cards for 2 mana. And I guess it has a kicker for 4 mana where they mill half their library, round it up instead. There is a different version that is running an enchantment, which is the one I've come up against. Hopefully it's this one here, so I don't have to go looking. Alright, so yeah, here we are. This enchantment, Fraying Sanity. Never seen play in mill before as far as I have noticed. But it's an enchantment for 3 mana. At the beginning of each end step, enchanted player puts the top X cards of their library into their graveyard, where X is the number of cards put into their graveyard from anywhere this time. So with the combination of the 8 mill crabs, a large number of fetch lands, things like Field of Ruin, which can make you shuffle as well. Field of Ruin activating Archive Trap, even if you play around it, your opponent can make you shuffle. You can choose whether or not the land enters the battlefield under your control from it, but like that doesn't affect the crabs at all. So like they've got a lot of tools to really strip you right down, and it's a lot scarier than it used to be. They've still got access to things. They're sideboarding Crypt Incursion now, main deck as well apparently, which exiles creatures from target player's graveyard, gaining 3 life for each card exiled this way. So they can just gain like 30 life in a blink. And even if you think you have them close to dead, just bam, they've got you. Ensnaring Bridge as well, important to keep note of. So yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for us because we still have Leyline. Leyline is still very good against them, even if it doesn't get affected by one crab. They have, obviously, Fraying Sanity, which is an enchantment, but Ensnaring Bridge is an artifact. We're already bringing in our Force of Vigors against them, so nothing really changes for us there. You know, it's almost just business as usual, right? Alright. So that's Mill out the way. It's definitely a real deck now, Mill, by the way. It's no longer just a joke deck or a little bit of a quirky deck, which sometimes gets good. Alright, so the next card I want to talk about is Skyclave Apparation. This card is huge. This card is massive. It's making a big impact, and it is extremely good against us. It's getting played in Hate Bears, it's getting played in Humans, it's getting played in Spirits. There's even just like some green-white decks which I've come up against, which are just playing it as well. So, very powerful card. I think too powerful. So 3 mana Spirit, costs double white and 1. So when it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you don't control with converted mana cost of 4 or less. When it leaves the battlefield, the exiled card owner creates an XX blue illusion token where X is the card's converted mana cost. You combine this card with the likes of Flicker Wisp, Eldrazi Displacer, where you exile it, suddenly they start exiling extra things. Your opponent's Tarmogoyf gets replaced by a 2/2. Your Daybreak Coronet gets replaced by a 2/2. They just hit your 1/1 auras until you have nothing left. All meanwhile, they're disrupting you with Giver of Runes to protect their combo, Stoneforge Mystic to get stuff onto the battlefield, Lead an Arbiter, Thalia slows you right down. This deck's very powerful, very scary. This card is, in my opinion, very broken. If the fact that it gives them an illusion creature when it leaves is the broken part. If it returned the card to the player's hand or to the battlefield, as like a Tide Hollow Scholar, Kitesail Freebooter, it would be much more reasonable. This card is insanely powerful. I don't think it's quite powerful enough to be banned, but maybe. Obviously, it's an ETB effect, not a cast effect, so we can sideboard for it. But yeah, this is insane. Think of Thought-Knots here. That's 4 mana, and it strips it from the hand. This strips the same CMC card from the board. Like, it's so strong. I really want to emphasize the point of how strong this is. Also, with Spirits, they have a really nice thing where they have Spell Queller to attack cards on the stack, and Skyclave Apparation to deal with cards on the board. So I personally think Spirit Aggro has gotten a massive boost. And, you know, the only downside for Spirit Aggro is they have, like, a lot of cards on 3 CMC, right? Same story for Humans. Like, obviously, they can attack players' hands. They've got Reflector Mages still. This one's running some Unsettled Mariners. But yeah, still Kitesail Freebooter, Meddling Mage Disruption. Now they've just got Skyclave Apparation, added Disruption. Obviously Ether Vial is very good here as well. So, you know, a lot of these white decks have gotten a big boost. Huge, enormous boost. Really good. Alright, so the next thing I'm moving on to are the shadow decks, and there are 2 types of shadow decks that you need to look out for at the moment. The first one is just your traditional shadow deck. Wow, this is not a traditional shadow deck. This isn't, you know, quite my opinion. But your traditional shadow deck still running Street Wraith. Typically, they are running 2 Skyclave apparitions. This one's running a couple of main deck lures, so it's a bit heavier on the creatures, whatever, that doesn't matter. Death Shadow as well, nothing new there. So, and 2 Team of Battle Rage, normal permission, discard package, removal package, all of that. Important thing to note is the appearance of Apostle's Blessing. So this particular list is a little bit of a hybrid. I didn't click on the right one. We'll move on from that. Other ones, instead of like the Apostle's Blessing and having 4 Scourge Skyclaves, let me run 2, remove the Apostle's Blessing, bam, Stubborn Denials in the deck. And yeah, it's your usual Death Shadow deck with just the addition of 2 Skyclave Skyclave Scourges, whatever. Alright, the other one you need to look out for and is this one here. It's the Suicide Zoo. It's running Luris as a companion, so that's a really good giveaway. It's running Soulscale Mage and Monastery Swiftspear in combination with Death Shadow and Scourge of Skyclaves, so all of those creatures as a 4-of. Agadeem's Awakening is making a splash for them, and I predicted this would, because obviously they've got all these creatures at, you know, in this deck, 1 to 2 converted mana costs that they can look to return off of a land, which is really powerful. And, you know, it deals 3 damage to them to come into play untapped. You know what? It's Death Shadow. They're okay with that. They're fine. They like dealing damage to themselves. It makes their shadow bigger, right? So, yeah. And the thing to look out for with this version of the deck is they always play 2 Apostle's Blessing. So yeah, obviously Apostle's Blessing is quite good at stopping your kill spell in response to them casting Team of Battle Rage. And additionally, they're also running cards like Mutagenic Growth to buff their creatures and deal extra damage at instant speed while being tapped out. And also Crash Through, I guess, just as a cycle, get their prowess, return itself, give trample, all of that. So very powerful, scary deck. Our game plan is much the same against them. Still, like, have your ley lines in, still have your Path to Exiles. Don't really need to worry about anything else there. Alright, so 2 new decks have appeared in Modern since the printing, and these are the lands decks, or the Landless decks. So the first one is a Belcher combo deck. So Goblin Char Belcher is reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Sorry, it's a 4-mana artifact, and you have activate it for 3. And then Char Belcher, so you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Then deals damage equal to the number of non-lands revealed this way to any target. If a revealed card was a mountain, it deals double that damage instead. So why is this important? So we get back to what I was saying about the lands before. So the lands always exist on the spell side. So they can cycle all 50 cards that are remaining in their deck, or 45, whatever it might be, that are remaining in their deck. Shoot you in the face for 45 damage, you're dead. When can they do this by? So they've got Simian Spirit Guide, they've got a Ritual Package, both Desperate and Pyretic. They've got Manamorphose, and some of the decks are also playing Pentad Prism as well. So realistically, they combo off by turn 3 ridiculously consistency. I mean it when I say ridiculously consistency. Like, it's not okay how consistent and powerful this deck is. And yeah, they seem to do it really consistently. Like, they might keep a 7, they might mull to 5 or 6 or something, but the deck mulligans extremely well. It only needs a few pieces to go off. It'll generally start with just having, you know, the tap lands, enter tapped, whatever it might be, and then the ones where they can pay life, like Shatterskull, Hammer Pass, they'll pay life, cast their spell on the relevant turn. So they're actually also playing a ritual called Ice Crank Feet. So for 4 mana, you add 7 to your mana pool, and you can only cast 1 more spell this turn. So the combo of that combo is obviously they get to 4 mana, whether or not they're ritualing into it or pitching a Simian Spirit Guide. They then have 7 mana. They can play the 4 mana artifact and activate it for 3. It's an artifact. There's no summoning sickness or anything. You just hit them. So this particular deck here is not the biggest issue. The next version of the deck, the evolution of the deck, is way more disgusting. So we can do things like Leyline of Sanctity, stop them from targeting us, and that's sweet. We're good. They do have things like Wilt to help deal with that, or maybe Nature's Claim as well. Not too big of an issue. This particular list also running Thassa's Oracle in the sideboard. I suppose against Leyline decks, they're bringing in Thassa's Oracle, and then they just look to return it from their graveyard somehow, and ritual into it, and then win off the ETB. They've got their own Leyline of Sanctity. Is that for the mirror? I'm not sure. Undercity Informer. So this list particularly is as well as running Blood Moon, which is quite good against us, and Defense Grid as well. I guess they're all artifacts or enchantments that can be targeted with Force of Vigor, so that's all sweet. Alright, so this is where things get really messed up. This deck is going to cause a banning of a card. I am guaranteeing you it. I'd be surprised if it does not cause a flash banning. That is how powerful this deck is, in my opinion. Alright, so what is this deck? So it's also running, the only lands it's running are the spell lands. Alright, that's fine. That's okay. So what's its plan? Its plan is to mill out its entire deck. How does it do this? It is running 4... God, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Balustrade Spy. So it is a 4 mana creature. When it enters the battlefield, target player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. Then puts those cards into the graveyard. So this deck mills itself. It mills its entire deck. Why is this so disgusting? Okay. So, what happens is they mill their deck. They drain you for 12 with 4 Creeping Chills, which they hit. Maybe one's in their hand and they only drain you for 9. That's still incredibly good. Alright, what's it do after that? Everything's in the graveyard. So Narcomoebas hit the graveyard from the library. Bam. They come back onto the battlefield. What does this trigger? This triggers their Sword of the Meeks to enter. So they get 3 Sword of the Meeks from the graveyard to the battlefield. They then use this creature called called Salvage Titan. So you may sacrifice 3 artifacts rather than play this spell's converted mana cost. Exile 3 artifacts from your graveyard to return Savage Titan from your graveyard to hand. And what's this one? Undercity Informer. That's not important. So what they do is they get Sword of the Meek back. They get this Savage Titan into their hand. They cast this Savage Titan. This triggers 4 Vengevines to enter the battlefield from the graveyard and attack you with haste for a total of 16 damage. So not only do they drain you for 12, they attack you for 16, and they do this pretty consistently by turn 3. I'm sorry, how is dealing 38 damage in 1 turn insanely consistently by turn 3 an okay thing? It's just not. It's absolutely wrong. This particular version also running Leyline of Sanctity, I guess to stop themselves from getting burned out. Maybe they're playing around Skullcrack or something as well. This is the first list I've seen Leyline in. Not really the most important thing. So yeah, with the Savage Titan, I think the combo is When Sword of the Meek returns, they get a... So they return it to their hand for 3 artifacts, and then they have to sack 3 artifacts to do that. I'm missing something. The Pentad Prisms, maybe they get them out. But they literally instant combo Savage Titan from their graveyard to their hand onto the battlefield, somehow with 6 artifacts. It's missing me here. I thought they got a token. I swear they did. I can't see how they're getting the token. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're getting the token, but they are getting the Thopter tokens and exiling it and doing all of that. Yeah, so the point where it gets really disgusting is, hey, okay, my opponent's sideboarded for the ETB package. Hey, look, transition sideboard into Char Belcher combo. For Nature's Claim to deal with anyone that's running Rest in Peace, anyone that's running Graveyard Hate. They've got 4 Nature's Claim now. Pact of Negation. Thoughtseize. Like, this deck is so disgustingly wrong on so many levels, and something is getting banned. I wouldn't be surprised if Char Belcher got banned. Honestly, if it did, you could just run this Ballad Truce Raid Spy version pretty fine, and you'd still probably have over a 70% win rate. This deck is absolutely nuts. It's pushed the boundaries way too far. So what do we do if we come up against it? I'm going to pull up my list and I'm going to show you my sideboard. Alright, so this is the current list I'm playing, and this video is actually going live before I verse the deck, so my sideboarding isn't quite perfect because I didn't quite break down how the deck works yet, but I'm telling you the correct sideboarding now. Even if the video you see tomorrow or over the weekend, I do something different, this is going to be the advice I'm giving you. So, absolutely, against the creature combo half, we need to bring in Rest in Peace, and we need to bring in Hushbringer. Why is Hushbringer important? Hushbringer is important because they're bringing in Nature's Claim. Unfortunately, Hushbringer is still weak to one of their lands. So they've still got... which land is it? The red land that burns your creatures? Where's it hiding? Or is this one not running it? Okay, this version isn't running the red land, but don't be surprised if they have a red land to shoot your creature. Where's it hiding? Here it is. Scatterskull Smashing. So this is the one that shoots your creatures down for red. Maybe this deck can't sustain the color combination, which would be, honestly, a massive relief. Yeah, this just looks like green, blue, black. Alright, I think we're in the clear for Torpor being really good against... Sorry, for Hushbringer to be really good against them. So Hushbringer, I would 100% be playing over Torpor at the moment. Currently in Modern with all the crap that's going on right now. Obviously, Rest in Peace as well. It shuts off their combo from them milling themselves, which is really good for you. It won't shut off the Char Belcher combo. So if you know that they have the transitional sideboard, you can obviously bring in things like Leyline of Sanctity and Force of Vigor as well. So what are we boarding out? Obviously, my initial cards I'm looking to board out are going to be Path to Exile, and probably 2 Griffspoons. So 4 Path to Exiles and 2 Griffspoon for 3 Hushbringer and 3 Rest in Peace. If you then have cards like Stony Silence, it could be worth bringing in for the Char Belcher combo. And consideration sideboards are to bring in Force of Vigors for Blood Moon. Well, this version's not running Blood Moon. The land version was running, or the Belcher version was running Blood Moon. If they transitional sideboard, you might want Force of Vigor to destroy the Belcher, because they'll often play it on turn 3 and then look to combo off on turn 4. So there'll be an instance where you can destroy it before they do the thing. If they are also on the Belcher combo, Leyline of Sanctity, as I said, stops them. So you can look to bring in something like Leyline. If you need extra cards to cut, a couple of Sentinel's Eyes, a couple of more Griff Spoon, a Core Spirit Dancer. I wouldn't want to take out too many Core Spirit Dancers, because quite honestly, your best bet is probably to just go all in Core Spirit Dancer and try to race them. So maybe even just leave your Core Spirit Dancer there, minus all the glitters, maybe even minus a Daybreak, just so you're not clumped up on cards that cost 2 CMC. So yeah, that's it for the decks that have come out and have made an impact in my eyes, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it educational. If there's anything I missed out on, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll update people on different decks to look out for. Obviously, there's going to be things that I've missed that's going to happen, but this is a crash course, and for decks like Landless, like Belcher combo, that's the game plan, right? This is what you got to do. So we're going to have to survive a pretty rough time online until Wizards makes a banning. But that deck is very strong, and you are going to see it. Make sure you're prepared. If you're playing online, if you're playing in your local store at a big tournament or something, maybe less serious at an FNM. Yeah. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative, all of that. If you did enjoy it, if you enjoy getting updated in decks that are appearing in the modern metagame, be sure to leave a like, comment down below. Let me know. Other than that, tell me what you think of the new deck. If you want daily content, guys, I'm putting up daily Bogles content. You're new here, subscribe, all of that. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.